Hi! Welcome. So that happened. Welcome everybody. My name is Lillian. Today we're going to be talking about the movie 65, which is basically a glorified dinosaur movie with the trappings of science fiction. And even though that sounds like hella cool and awesome, I'm going to talk to you about how basically it was a very boring movie and lackluster. We're going to get into the summary before we get into anything else. There will be spoilers, so stay tuned for that. So, quick summary of the movie. Basically, our main character, Mills, he's a pilot dude, and his daughter is terminally ill, and he needs to take a 2-year-long job of piloting to send this crew to another planet or whatever, for whatever reason. I don't know if the reason's even explained in the movie. I certainly don't remember it. So that happens, and he goes off in order to pay for her medical bills, basically. It's never explained what the terminal illness is, or what the stakes are with his wife and things like that, which feels really out of place in the movie, but I digress. Basically, he crash lands on Earth, has to fight dinosaurs in order to find the other part of the ship, in order to get them off of the planet. But then, bam, there's an asteroid that's gonna hit Earth, and everyone's gonna die. And I think this is where me and you understand, because that's when the dinosaurs were. This is the plot of the story. The premise isn't horrible. I don't think that it is a bad premise necessarily. One of the things that is a little bit more unique is that the story is set in the past rather than our future, which is a nice little spin on normal way that these kind of movies tend to work out. I like it. I think it's kind of a neat thing. This will kind of get into now the theater experience that I had. I really haven't been to the theater since the dark ages that happened in 2020 that we don't speak of at all, that we never speak of at all. We don't speak of it. Yeah. So I haven't gone to the theater, so we go to this really small theater, and I'm pretty sure the theaters probably was gonna go out of business, so it wasn't we were upset about necessarily our experience, but we didn't have high hopes, mind you. But we entered the theater, and first off, the whole thing smells very bad. It smells like cat urine. I don't know why it did, because there wasn't a cat. I didn't see animals. It just smelled bad, so I don't know. Maybe my nose is sensitive, even though it's usually not. Maybe it is this one time. But finally, we get our tickets. My brother's hyped because he loves dinosaur movies. We're here. Let's go. We're doing it. So you enter the theater room that we're supposed to go on. There's nobody else here. Just my family. That's it. No one else decided to see this movie. I don't know why necessarily, but there was no one else. Why I stress, we were alone. This almost never happened to me. Usually there's at least one other person. This time, nope, zilch. Nobody was messing with this movie. I don't know if that was a sign that we should have just booked it and left then. But anyway, so here we are in this movie. Let me actually show you some footage, because oh my god. Look at this.
Oh, darkness, my old friend. I've come to speak with you again.
Oh. It was so funny. The lights were blinking. It was so much. So that happened. My mom went and to ask the person, basically. She was like, hey, so why isn't this working? As you saw the error screen thing, and they're like, oh, theater 8 is our problem room, and we only use that theater for when nobody wants to see the movie and we don't sell tickets for it. And I was just like, this does not bode well. This does not bode well. In the movie, dinosaurs, for example. I think that we all love dinosaurs, secretly, we all love dinosaurs. The standout ones are like this dinosaur shows up in the movie. I don't know how much like footage I can show from the movie, so we're gonna so like this kind of dinosaur shows up in the movie and just kind of hangs out and chills. Ooh. And then we have this dinosaur that tries to like kill him a bunch of times, but gets like literally exploded by little explosion balls. Dude, I'm not even joking. The technology, we're gonna get to the tech in the show. We're gonna get to tech in the movie, don't worry. Don't worry. But the really standout one was just when these dinosaurs just started showing up randomly as the world was exploding and just like trying to like fight our heroes. Yeah, honestly, I was the highlight of the movie. Don't you know? It was me. I'm the highlight. You see, the dinosaurs didn't speak in the movie, but like that's what I imagined the dinosaurs said. So if the dinosaurs said anything, it was what are you doing on my planet? What are you doing on my planet? Kind of like that, you know. Let's get into how the dinosaurs are kind of used in this movie. The dinosaurs are basically just a plot device, like completely. They're just like the big bads, but they just kind of like attack the characters at random. Like just when the characters are starting to like rest or like have a conversation, they just kind of like attack. Honestly, it is not bad, but it's also not like particularly entertaining. Like the conflict of this story is very much so just built upon like very thin straws of like action being thrown at your face. Is this bad? No, but it's also like predictable and pretty standard and boring. The actual like effects of the dinosaurs were kind of cool, although I'm still upset that we haven't gotten our feather dinosaurs. I feel like we just should get more feathery dinosaurs. This makes me sad that we don't have feather dinosaurs, and all around just like just makes me more like angry. I love how I said more angry, like I'm already angry as I'm like just sitting here chilling. Also, nice little cut that we're about to do. I became parched. I have caffeine now. So the dinosaurs were a nice addition to the movie, but they never really became anything particularly important or like interesting or cool to the world building. We also never get to learn if Mills knows about dinosaurs. Like we don't get to really know about other life forms at all. And we also don't understand why the aliens look very human. Like very human. Like they're not humans. So it doesn't really like fit together very well. It's like okay, the dinosaurs are gone and the only humanoid things are like left the planet. So why is the dinosaur like why are humans aliens but not? Like is there what is the difference between Mills and a normal human? We don't know. And maybe that's like the one flaw of like setting it into the past is like okay, so why does the humans look like that with the dinosaurs? Like why mix this plot in with the dinosaurs? Why does this have to be why do these two plots have to be like intertwined together when they don't really fit and when you didn't like go out of your way to try to make them fit? You know what I mean? Like it just kind of it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know. Um and that was like gonna bring us all the way to the characters. The characters are very lackluster, and there's only two of them really. Mills and then the girl that survived, like the one survivor who doesn't speak English, mind you. Also another aside, the language that all the aliens speak is English. It seems, which I don't understand. Again, why would the aliens speak like you see what I mean? Like why the aliens speak English and they look like humans, but yet the only ones that we know of that survived left the planet. Did they come back? Are you trying to say that there's gonna be a sequel? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, maybe I've just like completely missed it. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. We have like Koa, I think is her name. Okay. So the only characters that really matter in the story is Koa and Mills, and Koa can't speak like English, so she basically never speaks at all. This is upsetting and frustrating because this to me gets into a wider problem with blockbuster movies, with like the big action adventure movies, using children as kind of props or like things to be and stand in the way of the heroes. I think that it's really bad to do this because one, children are smart as a general rule. Like they do stupid things, but humans do stupid things all the time. Children are not necessarily exclusive to that, and neither are humans. So to have a child like just like not listen when they're in a dangerous situation, just like be like, nah, it feels really weird to me. I don't know. I don't like this. World War Z also does this. A lot of movies do this, honestly. If there's a child in any kind of situation or in like that the character has to deal with or like save, they're always like a roadblock in the way rather than a dynamic relationship that is built of like trust and like care and stuff. It just feels really off and weird. I don't know. Like it's lame. Um, it's a big problem when you use one of your only other characters to bounce off of your main character and like foil your main character to basically have nothing really going on besides, oh, I am scared. You know, like, yes, we can identify, most people can identify with, oh, scared child should be protected. But if there's nothing deeper than scared child should be protected, then that's a very thin plot, thinly veiled story, and it feels off. And at this point, you might as well just have a dinosaur slaying movie instead of trying to intersperse the action with like this character who's being annoying constantly going off and not listening or being scared. It just feels weird. I don't know. Um I don't like it. It's annoying. I would have much rather have had like him just have like why set up the daughter and this character? I get it, it's to kind of like be like, okay, well, she reminds him of his own daughter. But another thing is his daughter ends up dying on this mission. So this mission becomes pointless anyway because his daughter is dead and the whole reason why he started the mission was to save her. So this like you you understand like when you don't think about it, it's fine. But the deeper you start thinking about it, the more the whole plot of the story falls apart. It doesn't fit together. So there's that. I also wanted to talk next about the tech. I put it in quotation marks. So in the same way that the like alien life form thing, Earth not being a humanoid inhabited planet thing, in the same way that like that's confusing and weird and like is a little off, it doesn't quite make sense. Like it's a cool idea, but they haven't really spent the time to flush that idea out. It's very similar when it comes to the tech. Like there's a gun in the movie that can just be like not reloaded at all for like almost the whole movie until the very end of the movie when we find out that the gun has to be reloaded. And it's like, my dude, you didn't set that up. Like you it didn't die for like the entire movie until this very end when the big chungus dinosaur shows up. Mind you, this is the big chungus dinosaur I'm talking about. And let's talk to our co-host, Big Dinosaur Dude. Yeah, honestly, to me it just felt like a bit of a way to raise the stakes up without really thinking the plot through and thinking about how to set things up so that they're satisfying to this bit works for you guys, by the way. Because I don't know, but I had a big dinosaur I wanted to show off. That's like 30% of the reason why I wanted to make this video to begin with. Anywho, And they also have like this weird like hologram thing that he uses to take pictures. And it feels off because they just kind of look like those old ways of like taking photos, you know what I mean? So it's just the way that technology works is weird. We also never get the reason why the ship, like the one half of the ship works, but the other half that they have and occupy doesn't work. We just kind of never get that. Like I said, I don't know why. Maybe they did explain and I'm just like stupid and I haven't thought about it or I'm not thinking about it clearly enough, but you know. So like together this movie comes like it wraps itself in this like exterior of being like just this cool like action movie kind of thing. And then it is that, but at the same time, the minute that you start thinking about the plot, everything just kind of completely falls apart. And I'm just I just don't like it. It's just not I'm not a fan of the way that this movie does its thing. Um so yeah, I don't know. You guys tell me if you watch this movie how you think about it. I'm interested to hear your opinion. When it comes, I think like the big lesson that I learned when I wrote this movie, not when I wrote this movie, when I watched this movie was that the premise might be like fun and entertaining and interesting, but if you don't give the audience, the reader, enough to chew on, then they're going to start poking holes into what you've already created. And if you can't generate enough like fun, tension and conflict and action, then there's no way for you to prevent that, if you know what I mean. One of the things that I felt to be particularly like frustrating, of course, was the lack of conflict, because a lot of the conflict in the story was very much so nature, but also our main character doesn't really struggle against nature as much. Like he'll get injured by things, and then that injury will kind of be forgotten about, or you never get to see him really like eating food or like getting water and things like that. And I'm sure there's like a couple scenes where that happens, but at the same time, it's like they're not memorable. Did, any kind of interesting conversations or dialogue or exposing what the story is more about? No. There was no real like feeling that like urgency to go and get out also, because like we knew that the asteroid was like that and we knew the dinosaurs were here, but at the same time, realistically speaking, he should have been able, like, just him going there, he probably would get paid anyway and be able to save his daughter. Because he doesn't find out his daughter isn't saved until way later. And he also doesn't really express a lot of desire to get back to his wife. So the movie just feels like the setup in the beginning was a bit of a waste to try to like get us to connect to the character, but it also and like provide motivation, but it also it doesn't there's something about there that doesn't really click and be like, ah yes, I know what this character is about. Like I never get that feeling. And I think that's the most important part of story writing is to make sure that your audience is like, ah yes, I get that feeling. I know exactly why this character is doing what they're doing, and from there we build up on like the side characters and stuff. There is no reason for Ko and Mills not to be completely fleshed out and interesting characters, with the fact that literally they're the only characters in the entire story. Like they're the only ones that get any good amount of screen time. I should know a lot about them. And I should care a lot about them, and I just feel very meh about them in general. So yeah, let me know if you guys watch the movie, how you think about the movie. Does the writing advice that I applied to this make any sense? I want to do more videos where I watch media and talk about what about it that I liked and what about it I disliked and what I think could have been improved upon, and like lessons that I'll learn in my own writing. So if you guys like this video, please tell me. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. You guys stay groovy, okay? My little chaos gremlins. Ciao, guys. My little chaos gremlins. Ciao, guys. Ciao.